Hey there, Sherry Kirchhoff, HippieClecticHope for Yang, hitting you back with a really quick update for Operation Freedom. It has been just amazing. I have just returned home from court. It's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I've just gotten home. Epic progress. I had to run out, it was kind of an emergency run to court. Basically, I received some notices in the mail that my former owner, the abuser, had filed motions to remove my son's school from the protective order that's in place. Now, that's a dangerous concept. That's allowing a serial predator access to a preschool. And the reason he filed for that, and it's been denied, but the reason he filed for that is because the judge who issued the original protective order for us did not put my son as an individual entity on the restraining order. She didn't want to put a minor child's legal name on a legal document, for secrecy and confidentiality reasons. Her reasoning was also that my son Aaron would be blanket protected under my protection, and then as his mother with decision-making rights and etc., I would have the legal right to protect my son, that I would in effect become my son's protection order. Now, that has many, many faults, and those faults have been exploited by my abuser and by the Denver Police Department. He has harassed me over the Talking Parents website, and nothing's been done about it because the judge who issued the original protective order specified that we could use Talking Parents to talk about our son. However, he wasn't wanting to talk about my son. The abuser was simply demanding visitation over and over again. 3 messages sent right around bar time demanding visitation with his son. Well, so since my son wasn't specifically named on the protection order, my abuser is now trying to remove the school itself off the protection order. And now you're all sitting at home going, aha. See, this would allow the abuser to come into school and abduct my son without any legal recourse whatsoever, so that he may do what he wishes. And as my abuser has threatened and promised and stated repeatedly, almost like a chorus line throughout his 5 years of ownership, said if we disobey, or if I attempt to keep my son away from my abuser, away from my owner, away from my rapist, if I try to keep my son safe from him, he would kill us both and leave us on the side of the Rocky Mountains here in Colorado for the mountain lions and coyotes to feast upon. So, by filing this motion to remove the school from the protection order that already put a big bullseye on my son's back by not protecting him, my abuser has tried to create a legally sanctioned kidnapping. So, having received this notice in the mail yesterday, I flew to court after taking Aaron to school this morning to file a motion to add my son's name to the protective order. And after being at court from about 8:30 until I just got home, and it's almost 2 o'clock, so it took about 4.5 hours. But thankfully, I have updated the restraining order. I've flashed it briefly to show you that it exists, but, without revealing much personal information. But my son is listed as a protected party now. So the covert kidnapping operation, not so covert, tried to legally file for permission to abduct. Dumb, okay, just dumb. So that got stopped. And so my son and I are both protected by the law as whatever it stands. And the Talking Parents website has also been, taken off of the okay list. Like, no more contact through Talking Parents, no contact at all. He has to quit sending people to watch over and stalk me. Any contact at all is a crime. Finally, this is what I've been fighting for since the beginning, since Mother's Day of 2014, when all this started with Thomas Stetzer. But it's finally, my son and I are protected from him. He can't kidnap my son from his preschool. So, nice and safe and secure. Happy Thursday. And after spending all month fixing his Medicaid, the judge was amazed that a parent could even change a birth date on Medicaid records. But, it's amazing. But, I was able to get it fixed. Aaron has health care again. And seeing that a parent who would get denied supervised visitation because he's too unsafe for even that would turn around and to prove a PowerPoint, to prove a point of power, would shut down his health care. He sabotaged my son's medical insurance through the state because he got turned away from visitation for being too dangerous. He committed Medicaid fraud to prove his point that he should see his son. Okay. So that's why I had to go and nip that in the bud, because this is what I'm facing here. A very dangerous serial predator who's been attacking women since 1979 based on disabled status. This is what Thomas Stetzer's been doing for 7 years longer than I've been alive. And I've been here a minute, You could really say it without the makeup, huh? I've been here a minute. Almost 33 years, very close to a third of a century that I've been fighting for my own rights, for my own right to be safe from abusers. So it's finally coming to it, and it's finally coming to a good end. So while I was in court, I decided to also file, let's see if I can get a good view that's not going to reveal stuff. A petition for change of name of minor child. Basically, since my son was named by my owner and I had no rights to decision making whatsoever, I'm filing to change my son's name to what I would have named him if I had a choice. So, I wish to name my son after my dad, Sergeant Bernard William Kirchhoff, United States Army. And my son's name will be Bernard. And his middle name, I couldn't decide between my grandpa and my great-grandpa, so I put them both in. He'll have, a dual middle name. It'll be one word, And he will have my maiden name, my dad's last name of Kirchhoff. So, You know, this is what I would have done if I had the power to make any decision. So this is what my son's name will be as soon as possible. You know, it's only a petition. I don't know how the court's going to react to it. But, you know, stating why I want my son's name changed, you know, that this is part of the annulment and temporary protection order that's already being filed, and, you know, that we were held as Thomas Stetzer's property. My son and I were. And so, you know, it affected every aspect of everything. You know, I lost my name. You know, my name is now Stetzer. I, you know, refer to myself by my maiden name because I will have it back in December when my annulment hearing is. But, you know, I have to fight for, you know, my son's right to be who he's going to be. You know, my owner named my son after after my rapist father, Vincent Stetzer, who he says is the founder of the Outlaw Motorcycle Club. Now, Wikipedia says they were founded in Illinois in the 1920s, and Thomas Stetzer swears up and down that Vincent Stetzer really founded the Outlaws in like the 1900-somethings. It's like, I don't know, man. You know, it's just delusions of grandeur in every single aspect of everything. And using that grandeur of criminal history, you know, claiming to murder Diane Lichty in La Crosse, Wisconsin, you know, the police chief's daughter back in '83, claiming to have murdered 7 DEA agents in the Emerald Valley of California over an illegal marijuana grow that he didn't disclose the date or any other details. I mean, he's just blustering himself up. And that's all he's been doing. The only threat that has ever had any substance has been the bin full of knives that I showed you the disposal of. I had to take you along for that one, because Operation Freedom is so important, and I'm glad I could take you along for this one too. Because, you know, we have court in a couple of weeks on the 17th to finalize my son being on the restraining order and why. And I'll hear from the court if there's a prospective date for changing my son's name with all the myriad of reasons. So here's hoping. But today was an absolutely epic day for Operation Freedom. You know, as of yesterday, the court was of the opinion that I was non-compliant with the visitation program, and that the school should possibly no longer be protected. My son's preschool. You know, that's just going to have a shooting or some catastrophic event is going to happen at my son's preschool if my former owner is allowed anywhere near the place. That's why these protective orders are put in place, to keep survivors safe from people who have attacked us. So, I have a little bit of time to cook some supper before I gotta pick up Aaron from school. But thank you for joining me on this Operation Freedom journey. I don't think I'll have to tick it up from 32 to 33 when my birth date rolls around, because I'm still free. So it's not, you know, a continuing mission to get free. It's a continuing mission to stay free and be free and no longer be someone's property, no longer be exploited or abused by someone who thinks that a disabled person is less than they. It's a disgusting mindset, and I've been fighting my whole life to end that prejudice. So, you know, demonstrating to a court what exactly happens in a slavery situation like this my owner gets turned away from continued ownership, and as a result, he instates ownership by vandalizing my son's Medicaid record. I mean, who does that? Who goes to the state and makes sure that their own child doesn't have medical insurance? Who does that? This criminal scumbag rapist slave owner should not be allowed anywhere near me or my son, who's going to soon be named after my dad, my grandpa, and my great-grandpa. He's not going to have Vincent Stetzer, supposed founder of the outlaw motorcycle bitches. He's not going to have that attached to his name anymore. My son will be my son. We're finally going to be free human beings. We're not going to be property of Thomas Stetzer anymore. So thank you and God bless for, watching HippieClecticHope for Yang. And thank you, for caring so much about us, and, for being part of Twitter family and YouTube family, and, just being part of Team Give a Darn. Because it's people like you who make all the difference to people like me. Just knowing that somebody cares that we're still sucking air is immense. And I'm very grateful to you all. So I had to share this victory with you. So thank you and God bless. Please remember to hit the like and subscribe buttons. It helps me, motivate me to make more videos. And it helps YouTube and other viewers understand that, hey, this chick has some neat stuff to talk about. So I hope to see you all again soon. And, I'll let you know when there's more updates. So take care.